Dude, can you believe that we literally went to a concert on Friday night and then did this?
Yes.
Well, you better believe it because we're about to dive in and explain it all. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next episode of Vinyl Stallions.
And it's Final Roulette. Not 1, not 1.5, but 2.
Dos. And as I just said, we did something absolutely batshit crazy. So on Friday night, May 20th, Klep and I went and saw King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard
Crazy
at the
show.
Agora in Cleveland. And it was a insane show. I've never been in a crowd like that before, but that's not why we're here. Go check out that episode if you're interested in that.
Keep your eyes peeled. It's coming soon.
But right after, Klep and I went back to my crib and we said, fuck it, let's do a roulette. Klep brought all his finals. Let's just send it. So we showered after a sweaty night, came into my bar area, and just dove right in.
And for the new listeners, how the rules of Vinyl Roulette work are Spruce and I combine our record collections into one. Every single album is printed on a slip of paper. We put all the slips of paper into a hat and draw them out. We draw 6, and then we just listen to them. Fairly simple. We call it roulette because it's just like you're spinning a wheel and you don't know what you're going to get. You could get rap, you could get heavy metal, you could get classic rock, you could get indie rock, you could get it all. You never know.
You really never know, and that's the beauty of the roulette. Go listen to our last episodes, the 1 and 1.5, and that'll explain kind of the variety of albums that we've gotten so far. But for this one, nearing midnight, your boy, being the host, reaches into the hat and pulls out none other than Let It Bleed by the Rolling Stones.
Absolutely classic album. Let It Bleed, released in 1969. Great Rolling Stones album. It's the one that's got Gimme Shelter, Midnight Rambler on it.
And I mean, just like for the people out there, so Klep and I have talked about our Stampede Shuffle multiple times. And last summer, it was like kind of the first time we like made it and we're like, all right, let's just spend the day listening to it and just like watch the Cleveland Indians Guardians. Let's watch some NBA Finals basketball and just like shuffle this. And I kid you not, we got, I would say, about 8 to maybe even 10 Stone songs. I don't know. That is kind of my guess.
Yeah, I know we got at least 3 off of Beggar's Banquet alone. Like we got Salt to the Earth, Jigsaw Puzzle, and Sympathy for the Devil. That's just what was off of Beggar's Banquet. We did get more Stones.
And it was just funny because it was the first time we made the playlist, shuffled it, hours, hundreds of hours of music, and it just so happens we had all these Stones. So
I know we got Heaven
off
of Tattoo You. We got Miss You off of Some Girls.
It was so funny. and it was just funny. So we kept being like, oh, Russo's houses for Spruce's houses for Stones. So of course, when I go in and pull it out, I am just laughing. I'm like, and we're back.
Of course, Stones.
And like, I know this album for You Can't Always Get What You Want. That's just when I see the album cover, I just think of that song. But that's how they end it. Everything else before it is a freaking just honky tonk party.
Party blues, pure party blues.
Straight party blues.
And Midnight Rambler was a straight up jam. That song's what, like 8 minutes long, and it just honky tonk blues.
Dude, it was hilarious to get and just awesome to hear. Like, I think it was the song before, it was like Midnight something, right? Or Midnight something. And
Midnight Rambler.
Oh, is that what you just said?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Midnight Rambler, and that's the one right before You Can't Always Get What You Want, right? What's the
Let
second
me
last
pull
song
up the
is
track
basically what
list.
I can say.
Monkey Man.
Monkey Man, that's the one that I'm thinking of because I know it started with an M. Holy shit, that song took me on a ride. Like I said, I showered right before this after the Giz, and I was sweaty once this thing was over.
And okay, do you remember the song? It was track 3. It's called Country Honk. But I'm sure you've heard the song like "Gimme, gimme, gimme the honky tonk women." So the popular version of that song is not the one off of this album, and it's like more upbeat, like more poppy, I guess, versus like Country Honk is like more slowed down, more like bluesy, more country feel to it. But whenever you have the chance, like listen to those two songs like one after another, and the difference is very interesting.
Very nice. I absolutely will do that. But yeah, we so the odds said Stones. Klep has, I think, 14. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep,
Uh,
14.
Rolling Stone albums, a lot from his father have been given to him. But so those were hands down the most albums that were in the shuffle, and we've been waiting for them. So it was only right that we pulled that for the first one.
Yep.
And then, so coming back from the bars, where our boy, we mentioned Al Casino, joined us on the 1.5. And then my roommate, Dirty, they came back from the bars. They actually listened to that entire Stones album with us. And then Dirty was just like, I want to fucking pick next. How do you do this? And I'm like, well, we have it all written out on slips and you just pull it out of this head. Oh, really? Well, fuck it. Let me do it. Dirty reaches in and pulls out.
Quadrophenia by The Who. Double discer. And this spelled the end of Dirty and Casino.
As soon as this was pulled, Dirty went to bed, Casino went home, and it was just the Stallions left to get rocked at sea in Quadrophenia.
Yeah, and this album is almost an hour and a half. It's a little over 80 minutes, a little less than 90 minutes. But yeah, 17 songs on it. Just an absolute masterpiece of an album. So I had always known a handful of songs off of this, like The Real Me, 515, Dr. Jimmy, Love Reign O'er Me. But I've never listened to this album in its entirety. Um, and yeah, this album was just absolutely crazy.
I mean,
And
I
yeah, something
mentioned,
interesting happened while we were listening to this.
yeah, so it was double disco, like Club said, and I'm telling you, when I mentioned it was that we were at sea, I'm not kidding. Every song is like it's just you're out on the ocean and just waves crashing back and
Mm-hmm.
forth the entire album, and it's just raining the entire time, and just Keith Moon doing some of the most mind numbing just drum fills constantly. Like there was multiple times during this album where I was trying to keep track of what is leading this song right now. Is it the drums? Is it the bass? Is it the guitar? And like there's times where I just couldn't find it, but it just made sense. And I, yeah, listening to it all the way through how it was supposed to be listened to was nuts. But so as Klepp said, something weird kind of happened. So we listened to the first disc, and then as we go and put the second disc on, it's a little bit just like crackly and just like not all the way there. And we're just like, well, is this how it's supposed to be? I mean, it's kind of gave that like you're on the water vibe kind of thing. And so we tried it a
Yeah.
couple times, and then we were like, okay, there's only one way to do this. It's either the disc or it's my actual record player. And the only way we're going to figure out is put it on a disc that both Klepp and I know.
Yep.
So we go to Dave and we say, well, fuck, just go grab Crash and put this bitch on. We'll know in the first 2 seconds if this is it. So we
Yep.
go do it. We do side 3, drive in, drive out, and it is fucked.
Needle was shot.
Needle was
So
shot. This thing can never go smoothly. Go and listen to our other ones. Nothing can go smoothly with these roulettes. And I was like making a joke beforehand. I'm like, what could go wrong this time? And literally the fucking needle on my vinyl just is shot.
but at least all the discs were there.
Yeah. And at least it wasn't the disc, honestly. Because those needle things, I can definitely get a replacement for it. And obviously in the year 2022 it's not that big a deal because everything's on Spotify, so we kept going forward with it and ended up still pulling the roulette, still doing the whole thing, but having to listen to it unfortunately on Spotify. And that's where we started side 3 of Quadrophenia.
And oh yeah, side 3 was crazy because at the very end of it, they like teased the song Love Rain Over Me. It sounded like the start of it, but then it wasn't. Then it just ended. And so then we went over to side 4, which I think was probably my favorite side because we started off with Dr. Jimmy, then The Rock, and then Love Rain Over Me. And yeah, after we heard that, pretty much the rest of the night, Spruce and I were just going,
Love, rain on me.
just the whole time.
Rain on me.
It's such a good song.
And we were joking because at the end of side 2, they were like teasing it a little bit. And Klep was like, wait, that wasn't the whole song. They're just giving us a little preparation.
Yeah, and I knew that's how the album ended too. So I was like, this isn't it. Like what's happening?
Yeah, no, it was crazy album to just have, I guess, and be able to listen to. It's only there's only 2 double discers that Klep has of the Who, and this was one of them. The other one was Tommy.
Yep.
And so wild to get and wild to experience. Again, I don't think I've ever listened to a full Who album all the way through. I just know,
Yeah.
like, I know a lot of Who songs, but yeah, to be able to listen to it all the way through is wild.
Yeah, this one either took the cake as my favorite or second favorite that got pulled from the mix, just because like it was just so different. Like very similar. Like I've listened to the albums Who's Next and Who Are You by the Who in their entirety, but nothing else. So just to like get into like a little bit different of a Who album was pretty cool. And it was just an insane album. Like I thought it was every bit as good as Who's Next or Who Are You.
Dude, you were cracking me up. You were wearing like red sunglasses, not these specific ones, because I was wearing these ones. But Klep had some, and he was just doing the singing with Robert Daughtry, just giving me some of these the entire night.
It was pure bliss and euphoria on my end.
I just imagine you being like, hell yeah, brother. Rain on me. And then so from there, it was Klep's turn to pick. He reaches into the hat. You know, there are some insane albums, like people who I have never heard in my life, just fusion, jazz, rock, blah, 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 metal. And we reach in there.
And we got a classic.
And we got Dave. Just fucking Dave. Like, of course we got Dave. There was only 4 chances of getting Dave. If you listen to our first one, we got Big Whiskey and the Groogrux King.
Actually, I don't know that we've ever explained this on subsequent episodes. So once an album is selected in a previous Vinyl Roulette, it is removed from the pool for future Vinyl Roulettes. So Big Whiskey and the Groogrux King can no longer be selected. So one of the Dave Matthews Band albums was already out. And like Spruce said, there was just 4 remaining in the mix: Come Tomorrow, Away from the World, Crash, and Under the Table and Dreaming. And of course, we got Come Tomorrow.
And this was the one that you and I have like leading up to this, and even the 1.5, we're just like, I would love to hear Come Tomorrow. It has just, I mean, it's the newest Dave album from 2018, and it has just some absolute rippers on them. Like, for the rest of the night, I remember I just couldn't stop singing from here on out. And
And
then,
remember,
oh,
remember
oh,
the inside.
dude, if you look closely, it's all like ants. Like it's like on like I don't know. You people have to go look like pull this up because you can't really see it on Club screen, but it has just like the detail that went into it is insane. It felt like it was vibrating because it was probably the bass just going so fucking hard. But I was like, holy shit, this is insane. And but yeah, the here on out chorus, when I'm old and young, dun 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 dun. I kept singing that all night. And then right after that,
Mhm.
That Girl Is You. This is my official announcement. I will be making a dance video this summer to that song. I've imagined it for so many months that I just need to make it happen. And Klep got a little preview of it while he was just listening to this, and it's just a complete vibe that I want to be a part of.
Yep. And that, yeah, I just, what more can you say? It was just an amazing Dave album. Like, how can you really complain?
I mean, you talk about just the deep archive, Virginia in the Rain. You've been wanting to hear that for so long. On, I mean, that's like half the reason I feel like why you love this album. You love that song.
Yeah, I want to hear it live so bad.
Dude, it's so good. It's just like a peaceful album, honestly. Like it's just I don't know. Like Come Tomorrow is just like a fresh restart. I feel like every time I listen to it, and the songs towards the end, I feel like it was uh like Blackbird, Bluebird, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, Black and Bluebird.
Black and Bluebird, like that song had just the craziest like offbeat.
Hmm.
One I don't really listen to that much, and just yeah, blows my mind. And while that was going on, like Can't Stop came on. I remember, and Dave was like, "Let them sleep, let them stay sleeping." And Dirty was in the other room sleeping, and Clip was like, "Yes, Dave." That was awesome. So then from there it was my turn to choose, and
And you'll never guess what we got.
I pull it, I pull it out, and I stare at it with my jaw dropped for 15 seconds before I even say anything to Klep, because want to know what it is? Crash, Dave
More
Matthews
Dave.
Band.
Literally the album we used to figure out if it was the record player or the disc on Quadrophenia.
I mean, people, I'm telling you, we have closer to 200 vinyls in this fucking roulette, and this is crazy, dude. Please pull out the slip
Oh,
and
oh,
show the people.
you know exactly where I'm going.
I mean, so it's fun. We mentioned it in vinyls to be able to look at just the inside covers and stuff, and it was so fucking like it's cool. But there's this one picture, Klep. You're gonna have to talk so people can see your screen.
All right, can you see it?
Pulled up a little bit more.
Here we go. Is it on in the frame?
Oh, it's in the frame, and it is.
Check out young Dave. Who got him to wear it? Who got him?
I'm trying not to talk so people can look. Man, who got Dave to wear that? Who are those painters? Those guys are just painters. And Stefan looks like, I kept making a joke how it looks like he like ran into like a glass door and he was like smushed. But Dave in those pajamas and like that look, just who got him? Who got him to wear it? That is the question of the night. And
Crazy how young they all look in this.
dude, it's crazy. Just had the second album that they put out, and it just tees off on all levels. I think the highlight of mine, and I feel like I was on a slight decline after this song drilled, but it was "Say Goodbye." And holy shit, that one is flying up my list on my favorite DMB songs, because all we are is wasting hours. And it's all lost. Go away. Just about an evening.
Yeah, that I mean, that one's just crazy how it starts out with Carter just leading the way on the drums like you're running through a jungle, and then You get a little flute in there, like
A little,
yeah,
little, little.
there's not a bad song on that album. And yeah, another double discer. So at this point in the roulette, we're on album number 4, and 3 out of 4 are double discers.
Yeah, it was long, but man, those Dave ones. I mean, we were making a joke how like we were on the side 4 of Crash, and it just felt like we were on side 1 of Come Tomorrow because basically every song we knew. Uh,
Yeah, so it just flew by.
like it was an incredible experience, but like I'm sad that we're like there's only 2 more Dave albums in this mix, unless they
Well, at
release.
this rate, we'll get them both next time.
Yeah, literally. We need Before These Crowded Streets next year on the 25th anniversary. Give it to us. I need it. That's my favorite.
Yeah, they. I mean, I don't know what's taking so long. It was like Dave and the boys could literally just be like, do we want an extra few $100,000? Okay, yes. Print them before these crowded streets, 10,000
Dun, dun,
copies
dun, 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 dun,
circulate.
dun, 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 dun. So from there, it's getting late early in the day, morning, nighttime kind of part of life.
Yeah, it's probably what, about 5 a.m. at this point.
Yeah, and actually, right at the end of Crash, I will never forget during the last song on there, which is The Proudest Monkey. Dirty comes up out of bed and goes to the bathroom in the middle of the night and just like starts dancing. And I'm like, yes, Dirty. But yeah, so from there, we're like, all right, let's just keep going. Klep's turn. He reaches into the hat, pulls out.
It's an album called Better Nature by Silverson Pickups. So Silverson Pickups are just like this random indie rock band who I followed since the early days of high school. I remember, yeah, like when I was in high school, I always used to listen to this radio station called 106.5. It was alternative rock, and they played everything, like all the 90s hits and then all the new stuff. And one night, because I listened to this radio station like in the car, like before I went to bed, like if I was turning on music, it was usually this station. And one day, this song called Panic Switch by Silverson Pickups came on, and I was like, holy shit, this dude sounds like Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins. And I just fell in love with the song. And then it led me to listen to the whole album and then other albums. And so, yeah, this album, I want to say it was 2015. Yep, 2015. Um, One of the songs, Nightlight, got some decent radio play right when this album came out. Circadian Rhythm, also decent amount of radio play. Yeah, so this is like a 1.5 disc album. So I was showing this to Spruce. So the way, like the length of this album is like right around 55 minutes. So it only took 3 sides. Like it was too long to only have on one disc, but on the back side of the second disc, there, like the album was already over. So, like if you look, it's kind of hard to tell because of the light, but it says disc 2 side B, and there's nothing on there, but there's artwork etched into the back side of the vinyl. There's like trees and this forest that are etched into the actual disc. It was very cool. I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, no, and dude, this was. I mean, we Klep and I saw this band back in October, I want to say, of
Yeah.
2021 at the
Yep.
Agora, and I mean, it was a like crazy concert. Like the woman bassist blew my mind. We were standing right in front of her, and
Yeah, Nikki.
Nikki, that's right, and she was fantastic. And no, this album hit hard. I remember being in the bar area listening to like half of it, and then the other half I was like, you know what, I just need to like lay down. And I put on Revenge of the Sith episode 3 on, but I muted it. And I remember just like listening to the album and just like watching just crazy shit happen and being like, oh my God. What is that one song? The Latchy Kids?
Yeah, they played that when we saw them live
Yeah.
too. Latchkey kids when they found together. Come on, down, 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 down.
Now, yeah, that was a great one, a nice switch up as well. And yeah, dude,
Yeah,
like
because we had two classic rocks and then two jam bands. So then we got into more like indie rock, like shorter songs. But I mean, they're still pretty long. They were all like about 5 minutes.
yeah, I mean it was like I think 54 minutes, I think is what I remember seeing it.
Yeah, and it's a 10 song album. So do the math. That means you're averaging 5.5 minutes a song.
Yeah. So we pulled that, listened to it all, and then we were like, well, maybe we
By this
should go to
time, it's 6
bed.
a.m. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it's time to go to bed. So we went to sleep. We went visit our boy Nature Maddie. He took some great pics of us, which y'all may definitely 100% see soon here. And then got some Winking Lizard. Shout out to the Winking Lizard. Winking Lizard, we want you to be the official partner of the Stallions. So we will be in contact with you soon. If you ignore us, we'll still be in contact with you and we'll still be there for wing nights every Monday and Tuesday. Wing nights, Winking Lizard, 65-cent wings. Go
See, we're
enjoy.
doing the work. We don't even have a deal yet, and we're already promoting them.
Hey, I mean, the
Let
bourbon
this be a
barrel
lesson.
slaps, bourbon barrel slaps, spicy sesame slaps, Cajun
Cajun,
slaps, Goldfinger,
Caribbean.
Caribbean. I mean, we love you, Lizard, but like, let us be a part of your family. But from there, we're like, okay, later in the night, we're going to see Tropodelic. So we go back to my house, do a little regroup, and are like, well, might as well just pull a 6 album. I mean, that's what we've decided is the full album roulette. Let's fucking go. It's Goose's turn. So I'm going. I'm reaching in the hat. I pull out a band I've never even fucking heard of, Blood, Sweat, and Tears 3.
Oh yeah.
And here it is at my house. Not my album. This is Klep's album. Klep
Forgot to pack it.
forgot to bring this home. So it is now in my possession. And let me show you how weird this is. So you see how this is the top, but it opens up like this. And then you turn it this way. And then this is where like you see all the boys from Blood, Sweat, and Tears. And Klep, you described them pretty well before going and tell the people what you told me that you knew about.
So I only knew one song of this band, and it is called Spinning Wheel. It's off of the album Blood, Sweat, and Tears, which is actually their second album. Um, but the way I can't remember how I even discovered this band. I was reading about a different band. It might have been Yes. It might have been Jethro Tull. It was like one of those two bands. And Blood, Sweat, and Tears was like mentioned as an influence or something. So I remember I hopped over to their Wikipedia page, looked at it, was like, oh, they're like jazz rock. That's how they're described. And so I went on to Spotify, listened to the most popular song, Spinning Wheel. And I just kept it in the back of my mind. I was like, this would be an interesting band to get into at some point. And I was at the record store. This was before Vinyl Roulette 1.5. And this was at Allied Record Exchange. I just saw two Blood, Sweat, and Tears albums. There was Blood, Sweat, and Tears 3, and there was New World. And they were like, I'm pretty sure one was $1 and one was like $3. So I was like, you know what? If it sucks, I haven't lost much. Let's just send it and see what the boys got. And holy shit, did this album rock my world. Earlier, when I was saying, okay, Quadrophenia was either my favorite or second favorite from this particular roulette, this was the other contender. Like, the boys brought the jazz. And I don't know, Spruce, check and see if you can get a drummer's name from that album. That drummer just tore the kid apart.
Yeah, I'm gonna look inside real quick. Yeah, so the ways Klep described it to me before was just like, this is like a Steely Dan-esque band before Steely Dan like was a thing. And I thought that hit it right on the nail. It had just 9 members. Again, here are the boys. And the first song was Heidi Ho, brought me back to train music, and it was dead on train music with just like insane jazz and stuff. Okay, so the drummer's name is going to be Bobby Colomby, Colomby on the drums.
He killed it. And after we listened to this album, I did like a little bit of research about this band. Like, want to talk about turnover in a band? Like, there is no like classic lineup of this band because it just changed continuously. Like, all members, like the incarnation of Blood, Sweat, and Tears that is playing now, does not have a single member from like the 70s or 60s.
Jeez.
Like they had like probably at least half of the band turn over from album to album.
That's pretty fucking crazy. Like, how do you even keep that same name?
Yeah. And like sometimes I can understand it. Like, for example, the band Santana, like there's a ton of turnover from album to album. You like, and I mean, essentially what it is Carlos is like deciding like, okay, like I've made a few records with these guys. Now I want to try something out with this group of people. And he would essentially just change who he was playing with. But that was okay because it all revolves around like what Carlos is writing.
Absolutely.
And Blood, Sweat, and Tears did not have that dynamic. There's not like the singular star of the show who's doing all the writing and then people are being placed around him. Like, it was just constant turnover by like everyone, like singers, guitar players, drummers, horns, like everyone.
No, it was crazy. The start side 2, they have a song Symphony for the Devil / Sympathy for the Devil. And it was literally, of course, what a way to start it with the Stones. And then we end it with just a rendition of the Stones song. I thought that was kick ass. Yeah, and man.
Honestly, the only thing that sounded that was like similar to Sympathy for the Devil were the lyrics, because musically those two songs could not have been further apart. You know what I mean?
Nah, it was crazy. But yeah, shout out Blood, Sweat, and Tears, wrapping up our Vinyl Roulette 2.0. This shit is like so much fun. Me and Klep talk about how like it's literally addicting to be like, what are we gonna get? Like, I would have never listened to all like a handful of these records that we've already done unless it was for this. And to be able to do it in this manner, to actually usually have it on a record player if it doesn't break, and to be able to experience with like a group of friends is like unreal fun as well. So shout out to all 5 of those artists that we heard.
Yep. And we are targeting early September, who knows, maybe earlier, for a Vinyl Roulette 3 run through.
We are. Yes. Now,
who knows, maybe the Dave weekend in Noblesville.
Yeah, true.
Just thought of that.
That's a pretty good idea. I don't know. We'll feel it out. I mean, it's a busy summer up here in Northeast Ohio. You only get about 3-4 months of good weather, so you got to utilize it to the absolute T. But hell, maybe one day we'll get Rained on Me and stay in and listen to another set of albums.
Heidi ho.
Heidi fucking ho. Besides that, man, Bruce.
I'm Klep.
And this has been another episode of Vinyl Stallions.